All right, so we've seen what turbulence can do. Let's bring in our old friends, our disturbance microsolvers. I'm gonna put another merge in here because I tend to have more than one disturbance microsolver anyway. So I'm just gonna have them all share their own merge. I mean, it's all, you know, filtering down to this thing anyway, but it's just for organization's sake. So we've got our gas disturbance, and so we remember the block size. It's going to go through this again real quick. It's still just as important now as it's ever been. I like to make a little box. Let's make sure that we can see our little box. Show all objects, and we'll hide the source. So there's the box. Point 0.3. So that's what this says. Block size 0.3. So this little cube here is that's gonna be the size of the detail that it adds. So I figure I'll do one that size and maybe one a third of that size, which would be this. You can see it down there, a little guy. I'll move it up if you can't see it. There it is. Nice little detail. 0.3 and 0.1. Also, as you might remember from a much earlier lesson, I like to hack these guys. I like to control these based on the velocity fields. I like to control based on the speed. Completely, because I hate seeing smoke that should have come to a rest still be getting actively moved around by these disturbs. So what I do is I allow editing of contents. We want to disturb the velocity field based on the velocity field. So what happens is I go in here, we go into this one, disturb vector field. You'll notice that the switch is set to 1, and you'll notice the bar here is solid, and these ones are dotted. This is the one that it's using. The other one is for if you were going to disturb a scalar field. So right here is the control field. This is the thing that we just set to vel. So because we're reading in a velocity field, change the type from float to vector, because the velocity is a vector. And because we want to base it on the magnitude of that velocity, which is the speed, put a length fop here. So it's going to read in the directional vector. It's going to find the length of it, which is simply how fast it's going. And it's going to use that as the driving force for the rest of it. Oopsies. So that's just how I like to do it. And while we're at it, I would say we can change we can remap that speed. I would say let's use it from 0.5 to 1.5. And I don't know if it's making a huge difference, but basically what that's saying is, hey, if the velocity, if there's no speed, or if it's a very slight speed, don't even do a disturbance, because it's less than 0.5. If it has any semblance of speed above 1.5, then we can apply this, because it's already in motion and it'll look good. But if it's barely moving, again, less than 0.5, then don't bring those velocities back to life. Now we want another one of these, and because we already set it up, let's just copy and paste it. And again, they're red because we cracked it open and feasted on the juicy insides. You know, I'm just gonna put the third one in now while we're here, because why not? Our voxels are too big probably to see a 0.03 detail, but when we do the high res later, we'll definitely get it. Great. So let's. I'm just gonna do a full play blast of this one, and I'll come back in a second, and we can see what it looks like. All right. So this is what we have so far. Looking pretty cool. We got a big column. We got this whole suction thing going on here. Swoosh. It's something that is pretty common when you have a big velocity moving upwards. We also, more importantly, we have all this breakup now along the leading edge, like this. I mean, these colors aren't final, obviously. This is just, approximate colors, but we can see how we have the fire is traveling inside of it. That'll look cool at the end too. Oh, there's nice trails. So there's only a couple of little pieces we still need shape-wise. One is there's no air resistance here. It doesn't seem like we'll really see much of it anyway, but it should be in there. Air resistance, of course, takes the form of drag. It should always be in there. Drag force. This is the drag you use for everything, including rigid bodies and whatnot. So we're not going to overthink this one too much. I'm just going to set it to 0.1. Let's try that. And we're also going to want the dissipation stuff, because it should dissipate. And we're just going to dissipate the density itself. As you can see here, we're not dissipating the velocity, we're not dissipating the temperature, most importantly. We're going to have it diffuse outward a little bit, you know, and we'll have some of it get removed from the sim. We probably won't even see that happen too much, but because it's not really long enough for it to really take too much of an effect. But the diffusion is important, especially the stuff towards the bottom should probably dissolve a little bit. Great. So that's just about everything. I would say I'm gonna play a higher. I'm gonna play blast a higher res one here at 300, and let's see what we got.